Alright, I've been holding off, but we gotta talk about Hornby's TT120. Yeah, okay, so maybe I've been going hard on Hornby recently, but that's because I think they're going a bit off the rails. I don't actually want to see Hornby go bust. No, really. You see, their iconic portfolio of brands, and specifically their model railway range, but also Airfix, Scalextric, Corgi and Humbrol, have been around my entire life. And I've bought items from all these ranges in the past. Are you even a proper modeler if you haven't got high off Humbrol's poly cement at some point in your life? It's like a rite of passage into adulthood. But don't worry my friends, I can sum up the TT120 range in 3 words. Hold on though.
Interpreting for the Neds tonight, Rab McGlinchey.
Alright troops.
Absolutely totally stupid.
Tragic, sad, pish.
Let me explain why I think this. But first, a little potted history of TT. So it was originally invented in America in 1945 apparently by a company called HP Products. They produced a range of pretty crude models, but they were significantly cheaper than any other scales, so aimed at a different market, perhaps introducing new people into the hobby where they might then progress on to more detailed scales. And there was British TT stuff available in the past as well. Triang used to do a range in TT scale. Kinda. While the track gauge is 12mm, the scale of these models is actually 1:100, which made the rolling stock slightly overscale. However, they stopped production in 1967 and the focus on TT scale went over to Europe. The obvious big player here today is Tillig, who provide a large range of rolling stock and accessories which are mostly of German prototypes, unsurprisingly. But with a break of 55 years since Triang's offerings, Hornby decided to step up and restart British outline models in TT scale in 2022. The new products are certainly on a par with the best models available in any scale. Yeah, sure, it looks pretty good, and it seems to operate very well. It's got some nice tech in there as well, but there are some major issues with it, and there's one obvious thing that they could have done instead that would have been a surefire hit. I'll get onto that in a minute. So, truth be told, I haven't actually bought anything in the Hornby TT120 range. I have checked it out though, like here at Model Rail Scotland this year. But this is such a gamble that Hornby has taken. Why in the world did they do this? Let's start off by thinking about who this is aimed at. The would-be TT customer, I feel, would just be the same potential customer who would have otherwise gone for a 00 scale train set. So why would they choose a TT train set? Well, available space is likely to be the only reason. Regardless though, it's still the exact same customer base, not a brand new customer. So you're just really splitting an existing market, not developing a new market. There's another issue in that there's just not enough British themed stuff available from Hornby or any other manufacturer to really develop the offering beyond the initial train pack. And this becomes really noticeable when you look at track options, especially points. There needs to be a whole ecosystem there to develop your layout, and it's just not there yet. Sure, it's coming soon, we're promised, but in the meantime, are sales really high enough to fund those costs to bring everything else to market? I don't think so. And this whole thing is feeling like a pet project, an ego-driven statement, and I'm looking at Simon as being the one that did this. It's almost like a school kid mentality of having something uniquely special to Hornby, and no one else gets to have this uniquely Hornby thing. But there's something I feel they should have done instead of this risky pet project. Hornby N-Gauge. Here's an established scale with lots of fans and a whole ecosystem of products. If Hornby had spent the time and effort they did on TT120 developing a kick-ass range of N-Gauge items, I'm sure they'd have market-leading models and would fly off the shelves right from the get-go. Just don't understand why they don't do this and continue to ignore N-Gauge. Could it be that they risk upsetting the Godfather and have been told they'd get a slap if they muscle in? Maybe. So what's TT120's fate? Personally, I think it should be abandoned now because I predict it'll slowly fade away and at a cost that will just grow and grow for Hornby. I'll give it another year where we might see 1 or 2 new things and then that's it. A final burp of mega discounts to clear the remaining stock at Christmas 2025 and then that'll be it. I only hope it doesn't bring down the whole company with it. I do slag off Hornby when they do things where I think they could have done better, but I'd hate to see them collapse because without them, how would I get high? See ya!